and promoting entrepreneurship among women. May I now invite Mrs. Pallavi Salgaonkar to share her thoughts.
Good morning, everyone. Respected chief guest, respected office bearers of the industry associations, distinguished guests and friends. As we all know, there's a separate parliament session convened from April 16 to 18, where 3 bills are going to be passed. Most important, women's reservation bill of 33%. So currently the Lok Sabha strength is 543, out of which it is proposed that 273 more women representatives should be added, and the total will be around 816. So I'll be brief to the point because my time given is 2 to 3 minutes. So for 30 years we talked about women's reservation. Committees were formed, bills were drafted, government came and went, but the bill never saw the light of day. Today that changes, and as the Prime Minister wrote this week in an article, this is not a political favor. This is what we owe to our Nari Shakti. This should be beyond politics. Many speakers today will explain what the bill does. I want to talk about why it matters. Today, India has 74 women in the current Lok Sabha, less than 14%. This is actually a decline from the previous Lok Sabha. In most state assemblies, including our own Goa, the number is in single digits. At this pace, without intervention, we could wait for decades. The system was not correcting itself. It required a push. And for everyone who doubts whether reservation works, look at our own panchayats. When 33% reservation was introduced in 1993, the same doubts were raised. Today, India has 14.5 lakh elected women in Panchayati Raj. 46% of them are elected members. Women sarpanches changed what governance looked like, spending more on water, sanitation, schools and healthcare. They did not only fill seats, they changed priorities. Now look beyond politics. 69% of Mudra loans have gone to women entrepreneurs. 84% of Stand Up India beneficiaries are women. Women run lakhs of micro businesses and small businesses all over India, serve in professions, lead community organizations, manage supply chain, manage finances and create livelihoods. Women in healthcare hold together our Asha network in remotest villages. Women in armed forces are flying fighter jets. Women in social work are the first responders in every crisis. India has 43% of its STEM graduates being women. If women have proved themselves in every field that demands competence and leadership, the legislature cannot remain the only place where they are kept waiting at the door. We talk about women-led development, but women can only lead development if they are present when the decisions are made. You cannot shape a budget if you are not a part of it. You cannot change a policy if you cannot vote on it. The Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam is a long overdue correction to our democracy. So more women, more seat, more voices and a stronger India because of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We will move on to the next speaker. Chairperson of GCCI Women's Wing, she has consistently worked towards strengthening women participation in business and leadership. May I now request Mrs. Sandra Fernandez to address the gathering.
Good morning, respected Chief Guest, the Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Pramod Sawant, our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Ida Menezes Mukherjee, esteemed guests, members of GCCI, dignitaries on and off the dais, and my dear friends. It's both an honor and privilege to stand here before you today for this meaningful gathering, the Town Hall of Women. Today, it's not just a discussion. It is about direction. It's about asking ourselves, are we truly building a democracy that represents all of us? Women today are not in the sidelines. They are at the forefront. They are entrepreneurs, professionals, innovators, and leaders. They contribute significantly to our economy, and participate actively in our democracy, often voting in equal or even higher numbers than men. And yet, when we look at the representation in decision-making bodies, the numbers tell a different story. But all this is going to change now. That is where the 33% reservation for women in politics becomes not just relevant, but essential. And thanks to our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, we are all set to embrace it. It's not about giving women an advantage. It's about creating an equal opportunity where it has long been denied. Research, including insights, show that when women are part of governance, the focus of policy expands. There is greater emphasis on safe public spaces, affordable childcare, healthcare, education, and community. These are not just social concerns, they are economic multipliers. When women are empowered, families become stronger and economies become more resilient. Women leaders also bring lived experiences into policy making. Laws relating to domestic violence, workplace safety, and health become more grounded, more empathetic, and more effective. There is a growing evidence that women in leadership often bring a more transparent and community-oriented approach, helping strengthen trust in governance. But beyond policies and performance, there is a deeper transformation. When young girls see women in positions of power, I can see a lot of students in the audience too, it changes what they believe is possible. It encourages them to dream bigger, pursue education, and define their own futures. At the GCCI Women's Wing, we strongly believe that empowerment must go beyond financial support. While schemes are important, true empowerment lies in the decision-making power. We must move from seeing women as beneficiaries, but recognize them as leaders and change makers. Because real empowerment is not about giving support alone, it's about sharing power. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Our next speaker is the founder of Women, a platform that uplifts and connects women entrepreneurs. She represents the spirit of modern collaboration and growth. May I now invite Sia Sheikh to share her views.
Respected Chief Guest, Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, distinguished guest, industry leaders, fellow entrepreneurs, homemakers, our women members, and all the incredible women present here. I stand here with deep gratitude and even deeper belief in the strength of every woman in this room. Because I've seen this journey very closely. And I've seen women who started with self-doubt. Women who were unsure of their voice. And women who were told, this is not for you. And today, those same women are running businesses, creating opportunities and transforming lives. And we have witnessed this over the last decades. India has not just progressed, it has empowered its women, whether it is stepping in leadership roles, participating in governance, or in nation building. Today, over 20% of MSMEs in India are owned by women, and more than 1.5 crores businesses are led by women entrepreneurs. This transformation has been strongly supported by initiatives like Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, where a majority beneficiaries, as Pallavi said, are women taking their first step into entrepreneurship. Then the Startup India scheme enabling women to scale their businesses with confidence and courage, and especially platforms like Women Entrepreneurship that we call it WEP. Many of you are not aware of this platform. That platform provides mentorship networking and growth opportunities. Well, initially we used to talk about finances and access to finance, which was a barrier. But today I see it is now becoming a bridge. Even in startup ecosystem, nearly every second startups has a woman in leadership. And beyond these numbers, there are many, many stories. Talking about Goa, I see this transformative every day happening. And let's say a homemaker turning her passion into business, a young girl daring to dream bigger, a woman rising stronger after every setback. And this is not just about entrepreneurship, this is courage in this room. And now that we have this historic women reservation bill, something even more powerful is happening. And for the first time, women will not just contribute behind the scene, but they will sit at the table where decisions are being made. And 33%, it's not just a number. I think we should take it as a recognition, we should take it as a respect, and also a long-awaited voice finally being heard. And as a founder of WebN, I have realized one truth. When woman rises, she never rises alone. She carries a family, her community, and her dreams with her. So imagine the impact when women rise in leadership, in governance, and in parliament. This is not just a policy. This is a movement of belief. And what needs to be done beyond the bill? Building leadership skills among women, strengthen ecosystem like networks and mentorship, encourage active participation, not just representation. And this bill is not just a destination, I think it's just a beginning. Because we all know that real empowerment will come when every woman not only has a seat at the table, but also the confidence and capability to lead from that seat. So thank you so much, and special thanks to my WebN members who have come all the way from Margam, Ponda and other places. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we move on to our next speaker, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Ma'am Asha Barinekar, President of Goa Livelihood Forum. Thank you, ma'am. Women Empowerment Chair of ASSOCHAM, a prominent name in the industry and a strong advocate for inclusive growth and women's leadership. May I now call upon Mrs. Bhakti Dempo to share her views.
Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Pramod Sawant, distinguished guests, and fellow change makers. It is rather a pride and immense pleasure for me to be present here today in this august gathering. We are here to pave the way for the course of a future defined by equality. While women are contributing significantly across every sector of the economy today, leadership spaces must continue to evolve, becoming more accessible, inclusive, and deeply supportive. It is in this spirit of progressive India that we at ASSOCHAM express our profound gratitude to the Government of India for the landmark Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. ASSOCHAM has positioned 5 core growth pillars as the roadmap towards Vikshit Bharat 2047, namely Make in India, ease of doing business, digital economy, MSME growth and sustainability. This is far more than a legislative milestone. It is a promise delivered to the women of India. By ensuring 33% reservation in our highest decision-making bodies, this act paves the way for gender parity in governance. However, the ultimate success of this quota rests entirely upon its rigorous and transparent implementation. We therefore urge the government to prioritize timely execution of this reservation, only through proactive enforcement can we ensure that women just don't occupy legislative halls but are empowered to shape the future of the nation. We at SOCM believe that when women lead, nations prosper. This transformative step is a cornerstone of our state's own roadmap. It is the fuel that will propel us towards the vision of Vikshit Goa 2037, ensuring that Goa becomes a global model of inclusive and sustainable development well ahead of the national centenary. This is our moment to transition from being mere beneficiaries of change to being the very architects of a developed Goa and a Vikshit Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. May I now call upon Dr. Shraddha Patil, President of IMA Goa Chapter, to kindly share her views.
Chief guest of today's function, respected Honorable CM Dr. Pramod Sawant sir, distinguished dignitaries on the stage, off the stage, and my dear friends. It's indeed a great honor for me to be invited to this erudite gathering as IMA Goa State President. On behalf of IMA, I extend my greetings to one and all. As today we are talking about women empowerment, I feel extremely proud to be born in a state which actually believes in women empowerment and where women empowerment is a reality and not only an entity on paper. Belonging to a profession which does not have gender bias, I consider myself extremely fortunate. As a healthcare professional, and especially a gynecologist, I can vouch for this as our maternal mortality rate in Goa is almost zero, and I would love to see it go to zero. From almost zero, let us go to zero. And our infant mortality rate is also much lower than what's there presently in the country. This shows that healthcare is made available to women from far and wide and to all the stratas of society. Personally, I would like to see women in my own clinic to, they desire the birth of a male child. I feel that mentality has to go down. That is still there. So that is my wish for the humanity. When we talk about women empowerment, it's important to see that women who form almost 50% of population remain healthy and well cared for. Woman is called Janani. So an empowered and a healthy woman is an asset to the society and holds the key to healthy future generation. Indian Medical Association has taken up a theme based on neurodiversity, wherein we believe that we should be caring for neurodiverse children. When we say care, we know that the onus of this care is mostly on the mother, and the mother is the silent sufferer in this. So care of the caretaker forms an important aspect of this theme, and we are trying our level best to create awareness about neurodiversity, about autism spectrum disorders, because the focus is on the children, and the woman who takes the children to all these forums, to all the doctors, to the various clinics, to the counselor, the woman is forgotten because she herself goes through a lot of mental issues. So mental health of women has to form an important aspect of any decision. So it's an extremely praiseworthy step to include women in the mainstream politics by providing them 33% reservation, because women bring compassion, resilience, patience and tenacity to the table. I take this opportunity to congratulate our leaders for this foresight and wish them all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Our special guest and Padma Shri awardee, whose journey is truly inspiring and a testament to dedication and excellence. May I now request Ma'am Mrs. Shashi Soni ji to kindly address the gathering.
Good afternoon, everyone. And with the effort all have collected here, and especially our energetic Chief Minister sir. And there is nothing to say special about the woman. Woman is always at the target, and she accepts the target, she accepts the challenges, with where I am standing here, and I have practically gone through all that, and reached at the level where I can say proudly, a woman can achieve the goal, woman can take the burden, woman can accept the challenges, which all have explained what women can do. Now we have all got together here for, now we should ask, the assembly is coming, we should ask our Chief Minister sir how many women he will induct in his assembly. That promise we have to have from him. I am also not out of Goa now. I have become Goan. And the eligibility is there, and I can vote for the candidate. So this is my request. I don't want to explain much more because all are explaining, and this is our request, sir. This I think you will give me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Our chief guest, Dr. Pramod Sawant, our Chief Minister, has already taken note of your suggestions. We move on to our next speaker, President of GCCI, a leader who has been at the forefront of promoting business excellence and women's representation. I now invite Mrs. Pratima Dhon to share her thoughts.
Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Pramod Sawant, CM of Goa, distinguished guests on the days, respected members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industries, I extend warm greetings to you all. Today I speak on an issue that is not merely a political reform, but a defining milestone in India's democratic journey. Reservation for women in election to the Lok Sabha, legislative assemblies, and other representative institutions. India proudly calls itself the world's largest democracy. Yet, for many decades, half of our population has remained underrepresented in the highest lawmaking bodies of the nation. Women have excelled in every sphere: business, education, science, administration, defense, sports, and entrepreneurship. But their presence in parliament and state assemblies has not reflected their true strength, talent, and contribution. As the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, has recently said that India stands on the brink of taking one of the most important decision and most significant decision of the 21st century. He described this as a step dedicated to Nari Shakti, a tribute to the power, dignity, and strength of Indian women. Friends, this is not about favor. This is about fairness. This is not about symbolism. This is about structural change. This is not about politics alone. This is about nation building. For nearly 4 decades, there has been a national consensus that women deserve greater representation in democratic institutions. Governments, political parties, and leaders across generations have spoken about it in support of this reform. Today, that long-awaited vision is moving closer to its reality. The proposed reservation for the women in parliament and assemblies is a message to every daughter of India. You do not just have the right to vote. You have the right to lead. You have the right to shape policy. you have the right to govern. Experience has always shown us the transformative power of women's leadership. At panchayats and municipal levels, women representatives across India have demonstrated sincerity, accountability, and efficiency. They have prioritized drinking water, sanitation, education, healthcare, child welfare, and grassroots development. If women can successfully lead villages, municipalities, and local bodies, why should they not lead states and the nation? Ladies and gentlemen, as President of GCCI, I wish to place before you an economic perspective. Women's political empowerment and women's economic empowerment go hand in hand. When women participate in decision making, policy becomes more balanced, inclusive, and future oriented. This benefits entrepreneurs, MSMEs, employment generation, skill development, family welfare, and social stability. Simply put, when women participate in governance, economies become stronger. When women lead, societies progress faster. In Goa, women have contributed immensely to tourism, trade, education, healthcare, hospitality, administration, and business. Goa has always shown a progressive spirit. We must now encourage greater participation of women in public office and leadership across all institutions. Goa can become a model state in promoting women leaders across party lines and sectors. At the same time, implementation of reservation must be timely, transparent, and effective. Matters related to delimitation, rotation, and execution should be addressed clearly so that this historic reform translates into meaningful results on the ground. Friends, the question before India is simple. Can the nation rise fully if half of its talent remains underrepresented? The answer is clearly no. Therefore, the Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry supports every progressive step that enhances women's participation and leadership in governance. Let merit flourish. Let opportunities expand. Let representation become reality. Let us move from participation to leadership. Let us move from tokenism to transformation. Let us move from promise to policy. Because when women rise, India rises. Because when Nari Shakti leads, the nation succeeds. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you to all our esteemed speakers for those insightful and powerful perspectives. Each of your words has added depth and meaning to today's discussion. Now we move on to a very important segment of today's Town Hall for Women, the Keynote Address. Our keynote speaker is someone who brings with her immense knowledge, experience, and a deep understanding of policy and societal transformation. Her insights into women's representation and governance are sure to enrich us all. It is indeed an honor to introduce to you all Dr. Ida Rose Miller Mukherjee. Dr. Ida is being honored with a PhD Biochemistry, Drug Metabolism, Postdoctorate in Neurochemistry, Department of Medicine, Glasgow, UK. She is a professor in biochemistry at the Goa Medical College, a biochemist at the Institute of Psychiatry and Human Behavior, visiting faculty in the Department of Biochemistry, Goa University, and member board of Studies Biochemistry, Goa University. Postdoctorate Learning Disabilities and Mental Health Care and PG Diploma in Palliative Care. In the field of social work, her role in drafting Goa Children's Act 2003 section on education, media and leisure and recommending provision for school counselor in every school in Goa is truly remarkable. Based on the work done with compassion, she had been invited by His Holiness Dalai Lama for appreciation and blessings. She has been a recipient of Senior Citizen Award 2024 for social work. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Ida Mukherjee. It is my honor to invite Dr. Ida Mukherjee to give a keynote address. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaskar, our Honorable Chief Guest, our Chief Minister, Shri Pramod Savan, the dignitaries on the days of the days, and my friends. It is, after listening to all this, my levels of self-esteem as a woman has really gone up. And I'm sure you also feel the same. The thing is that, we have been the unwanted ones. If we really go back, when I'm sure many of us, when we were born, the delights of laddus and pedas didn't go around. It was more of, okay, bye, darling. Okay, bye, darling. Okay, fine, There was no celebration. There was no, I would say, the fogs and everything else was not there, though they were kept ready, but they were not there. So, this is a very special day for us. Very, very special. Because we have come here, we are elated, we are jubilant to share the joy of Nari, Shakti, Vandan, Adhiniyam. And I'd like to share today's Bengali New Year. So say, Shubh Varsha, Happy New Year to everybody. And of course, we look forward to everything positive in our lives, in everybody's life. And also, before we go ahead, I would like you to join your hands, and we will, please join your hands. We will like to submit our gratitude to Almighty, thankfulness to Almighty for giving us this day, for bringing us together, for giving us a country with democracy, for giving us a constitution, and for giving us the leaders who have got the insight to see us that we are the future of the Viksit Bharat. You see, the thing is that we have always had this kind of a thing, the unwanted one and all that. But anyway, we have also been Shakti. In our country, in our religions, and in our social structure, Shakti has always been there. And Shakti means power, strength, capability, and of course, capacity. And for more than 5,000 years, we have worshipped Shakti. Ma Durga, Ma Kali, Ma Saraswati, Lakshmi, Ma Lakshmi, and of course Mother Mary, and Hazrat Aisha, for their resilience, for their strength, for all the positivity. But even today, we women are having that inferiority complex. You'll have to admit it. We do have it. We do have it. We might suppress it, but we do have it. Why? Because of the patriarchy of the social system. It is there, very much there. Okay, when we will go out from here, when we will go to our homes, wherever we will go, we will find that patriarchy is there. And patriarchy, that is Purush Pradhan Sanskriti, it has a long story and a long history. Now don't get afraid, I won't take too much of your time. Yes, but I follow one history channel on the YouTube, which very nicely says, अगर इतिहास नहीं जानोगे तो खुद को कैसे जानोगे? So the thing is that how did this particular patriarchy come? Now the boys and the gentlemen should not start feeling a bit, oh well, abhi ye kya bolenge, what is this? They shouldn't be scared. The fact remains, I will just touch 3 points: the cave, the code, our constitution. So what had happened that, say about 50,000 years back, we used to have men, women, they were tribes, and they used to live in caves. They used to just live together. Men would go and probably kill a bigger animal to bring for food, whereas the women, they would go for the roots and they would go for, all those fruits and everything else. And they all lived together happily, and then of course the children were there, and the children were looked after by the tribe. Okay, whose children they were? There was no kind of ownership. There was no ownership. It could be anybody's child. Okay, yeah. It was a free society. And then came something really interesting, the agriculture. So when the agriculture came, there was more produce, and of course with more produce there was more population. Then that desire to own, this is mine, it came up. Whether it was a territory, whether it was a boundary of a field, that particular thought came into the mind of the person. And that was of course male. Because males, due to their strength, the upper body strength, they were usually in the plowing and all that. So that came. And then came the question, who do I pass this on to? And then it thought, I will pass it on to my son, the male, because he's got more physique. I'll pass it on to my son. Now how do I know who's my son? Who's my son? Very important. So then they said, I will not let the woman go out. So, that will ensure that her son, or, the son she begets is my son. It's not A, B, C, D, so I can say it's my son. So you can imagine that that's how it started. Okay, so now the woman was not supposed to go out. The woman was supposed to stay at home, look after the child, and all those various duties that which we are even doing today started. Okay, and then came the, of course, the social system started. Then some leaders came up, and the leaders started giving the code. Moses gave, 10 commandments, do this, don't do that. Manu gave, okay, this is the set of things. And that's how the patriarchy flourished. Now, when you see what happens is, there used to be at a time when it was only the brawn, the takat. But then came even the mind. You see, with the nutrition and everything else, even the mind, with the, we would say, the brain develops. Okay. So, now came the system, the social system. And as it developed, became the constitution. I'm making it very short, otherwise, this is about, there are lovely books available on that. So constitution, but in that constitution, men were there. They were to rule, because they were designed to rule, to make decisions. And women were only looking after children. And probably the house, missing out the fact that homemakers would agree here, and we agree, and I agree. Managing a house, managing a child, a family, it requires a lot of skill, which is overlooked, or which was overlooked. It's not anymore. So that was it, that the constitution came up. And then, of course, along the time, the visionaries realized that yes, ladies में भी दम है भाई, दम भी है, दिमाग भी है, और दिमाग ज़्यादा है, युक्ति. You know what we call it as? Skill, the yukti hai. She can handle any time. So, whenever anybody was needing desperate money, किसके पास? माँ के पास है. चावल के डिब्बे में छुपा हुआ, माँ के पास है. So, then of course, it came, the British thought of saying, oh well, let's include women also in 1927. It was just a thought. Then again in 1974, this thought percolated, and it was just a thought. I would say it was in the Lok Sabha. But in 1992, after the amendment of Amendment 74 and 75, this was applied to the panchayat and the municipal councils. And lo and behold, सबको पता चला कि अरे, the ladies have got so much of ability, because the data showed that the health improved, the section on education was effective. Then of course there was a lot of the spending of the funds that was there, and also including the sanitation. So women can actually manage, but the women have been managing the home in the very way. Country is a big home, isn't it? It's a big home, and we know the skills, we know the yuktis, So that was definitely, I'm sure I have a lot of people from panchayat here, and of course I am very proud of my panchayat, which is Talegaon Panchayat. And you see, they have made a difference. They have brought the women together, because we women, we might be having our differences, we might be having a discussion, we might be having a gossip. But when it comes to an issue, to a cause, we do it. So anyway, so that was it. And now we say hip hip hooray, because our visionary leaders, our Prime Minister, well, he has given us the platform where we can actually contribute to the Viksit Bharat. So now, of course, on 2023, the 106th Amendment, which we all have talked about, it will come to full force, and in 2029. Now, there's 33%. Half the ladies will be thinking, the ones now who are really good in math, 30%, you dil mange more. Okay. But no, the idea is 33%. Most of you who are in the university, all of us have 33% passing marks, 35%. Get it? Yeah. So 33% means अच्छा है चलेगा. So you can pick the two. And of course, that is political science. That's not my forte, but it comes from there. Okay. So now, you see, we in Goa are very special women. Why? Because Goa gave us something so special which the other states got it much later or are still not having it. And that is what? We didn't have parda. Okay? We didn't have parda, we didn't have sati, which everybody in the other states, the northern states particularly. And of course, we didn't have child marriages. Now this is all because of the socio-cultural aspect. Those in North India,
अठ्ठावीसान जर सोंपलो जाल्यार ताज्या रिलेटेड जर ते करपाचे जाले आसत जाल्यार इट मायट बी डिले म्हणून हातूंत परत अमेंडमेंट करून हे बिल 2029 जर आमकां पास करपाक जाय आसत जाल्यार तांच्यांनी 2011चो सेन्सस हो कन्सिडर्ड करून हे बिल पास करपाचें थारायलां. आनी हे बिल पास करता आसतना बऱ्याच जाणांक म्हणजे मॅडमीन जशें म्हटलें की दिस इज अ पुरुश प्रधान संस्कृती. थोड्या जाणांक दुखतलें असलें हय अरे म्हाजो सीट वचत काय कितें त्याजो सीट वचत काय कितें बिकॉज 543 जे सीट्स आसा ते वाडून म्हणजे 273 एडिशनल सीट्स हेजे दिता म्हणजे एडिशनल 33% परत जातलें आसलें कितें इफ इट इज पॉप्युलेशन बेस्ड जर जाल्लें म्हणजे जाल्यार थोड्या स्टेटीक सीट चड मेळटले आसले थोड्या सदर्न पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री सीट कमी मेळूंक शकता आसले देर मायट बी द डिस्पॅरिटी वेगवेगळी डिस्पॅरिटी जावं शकतली असली म्हणून तांच्यांनी आसा त्या सिटात म्हणजे इवन दो आता प्रश्न आयलो की मॅडमीन म्हटलें 40तले 33% जातले ना, 40तले 33% जावचे ना, अजून तेजेर फायनल क्लियरिटी ना इन विधानसभेन. आता ह्या विधानसभेत म्हणजे गोंय सारकिल्ल्या ल्हान राज्यांतल्या विधानसभेत आनी कितले सीट वाडटले हो एक प्रश्न आसा अजुनूय, म्हणजे डेट विल क्लियर येता त्या बिलांतल्या डिस्कशनांतल्या उपरांत ते क्लियर जातले. लोकसभेतलो नंबर हो क्लियर जाल्लो आसा, विच विल बी द 273, एक्झॅक्टली द 33% ऑफ एट प्रेझेंट नंबर. बट विधानसभेत जाता आसतना म्हणजे बिगर विधानसभास म्हणजे लायक द महाराष्ट्र, UP हांगासर कितलो नंबर जातलो आणि ताज्या उपरांत तो स्मॉल स्टेट्स लायक त्रिपुरा, गोवा ह्या स्टेटींनी तो कितलो नंबर जातलो हो अजून डिसायड जावंक ना. ह्या स्टेटींनी डिसायड जावंक ना. तर तो डिसायड जो आसा तो डिसायड कदाचित म्हणजे ह्या बिलांतल्या डिस्कशनांतल्यान म्हणजे गोंयांतलो नंबर घडये कदाचित 5 सीट वाडूं येता अशा पद्दतीनूय जावं शकता, बट इट इज नॉट फायनलायज. म्हणून तितून हांव आत्तां वचना, बट डेफिनेटली की हे नंबर जे आसा पळय न्हू सगळ्या विधानसभेतले हे नंबर वाडटले. बट हे सगळें करता आसतना ऑनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदीजी हांची दूरदृश्टी पळयात. 2014तल्यान तांच्यांनी वुमन सेंट्रीक गव्हर्नन्स केलो. वॉट यू मीन बाय द वुमन सेंट्रीक? तांच्यांनी जे मिशन सुरवात केलें की स्वच्छ भारत अभियान हाज्या पासून फिट इंडिया पर्यंत हातूंत काडलेल्यो बऱ्योचश्यो स्किमी जर तुमी पळयशात जाल्यार थोड्याशा स्किमीचो हातूंतल्यान उल्लेख जालो. तुम्ही पळयात की इट इज एन उजाला योजना, उज्ज्वला योजना, शौचालय योजना, सुकन्या योजना, प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना, ओके, ह्यो सगळ्यो ज्यो आशिल्ल्यो ओके विच इज वुमन सेंट्रीक. आमी पळयता की उजाला योजना इज वॉट? तांच्यांनी फ्री LPG गॅस कनेक्शन दिवपाक सुरवात केली की आतां पर्यंत हे डायरेक्ट कोणाक लागताली की घरात चुली रांदप हे फक्त घरातल्या महिलेक लागताले, पुरुषाक लागनाशिल्लें. म्हणून तांच्यांनी उज्ज्वला योजना सुरवात केली. आमी बरेचशे फावटी पळयताले की तांच्यांनी मोफत शौचालय योजना सुरवात केली आणि मोर दॅन इट इज एन 11 करोड शौचालय टॉयलेट्स फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट लोकांक बांदून दिले. परत हे कोणाक लागताले की आमी बरेचशे फावटी पळयता गोंय सारकिल्ली इट इज एन वेल डेव्हलप्ड स्टेट आसा, पण आमी जेन्ना UP, बिहार, आसाम किंवा वेस्ट बेंगाल ह्या सारकिल्ले स्टेटीत वयताले घरात टॉयलेट ना जाल्यार कितें परिस्थिती जाताली एक महिलेकूच कळपाक शकता, ती पुरुषाक कळपाक शकनाशिल्लें. म्हणून तांच्यांनी ह्यो वुमन सेंट्रीक केल्यो. ताज्याय पेक्षा एक फुडें वचून तांच्यांनी आनीक जी स्कीम केली म्हणजे आनीक तांच्यांनी इन शॉर्ट कायदो केलो. खंयचो तो? विच इज डायरेक्टली फोकसिंग टू द वुमन. खंयचो तो? तोय बी दादल्यांनीच सांगलो 3 तलाक. येस, ऑफकोर्स 3 तलाक रद्द केलो. तलाक 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 म्हणून जो डायरेक्टली डायव्हर्स दिताले हे पाकिस्तानानूय ना, अफगाणिस्तानानूय ना आणि उझबेकिस्तानानूय ना. खंयच्याय कंट्रीनी काडून पळयात 3 तलाक हो कायदो नाशिल्लो, हो फक्त ह्या भारत देशातूच आशिल्लो. तो रद्द करपाचें काम जर कोणी केलें आसत जाल्यार ते ऑनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदीजीत केलें. बिंग ते एका रिलिजियस खातीर जरी आशिल्ले आसत जाल्यार ते महिलांच्या खातीर आशिल्ले, महिला भगिनी खातीर आशिल्ले. तिका समान हक्क दिवपाक जाय आसत जाल्यार ते तिच्या खातीर आशिल्ले. म्हणून हे काम तांच्यांनी पयलें केलें, तो 3 तलाक रद्द करपाचें केलें. म्हणून 2014 ते 2023 पर्यंत तांचो पूर्ण गव्हर्नन्स विच इज एन वुमन सेंट्रीक गव्हर्नन्स. खंयचीय स्कीम काडून पळयात. म्हाका दिसता मॅडम डेंपे हेजेर उलयली की मुद्रा लोनाचेर उलयली, ओके, विच इज अगेन आमी म्हणटा हातूंत 33 न्ही तर हांगा 40-50% स्टार्टअप इंडिया, स्टँडअप इंडिया हातूंतल्यान म्हणजे तुमी जर प्रोपोर्शनेट पळयत जाल्यार 40 to 50% वुमन्स हांच्यांनी ज्यो ह्यो स्किमी जो आसा ह्या स्किमीचो लाभ घेतला. ओके, आनी त्याच खातीर म्हणजे आमी तांच्यांनी जी काडली पळय न्ही बेटी बचाव स्कीम ही कित्याक आनी खंयच्या राज्यांतल्यान सुरवात जाली? स्पेशली फ्रॉम द हरियाणा. हरियाणात रेशो जो आशिल्लो म्हणजे बॉयज रेस टू गर्ल हो रेशो विच इज 7 to 10 म्हणजे 10 भुरगे जन्माक आयल्या उपरांत 7च चलयो जन्माक येताल्यो. तीन हे पर्सेंटेज कमी आशिल्ली. त्या खातीर तेंच्यांनी बेटी बचाव बेटी पढाव ही तेंच्यांनी, कारण आमी कितें जाला, आमी गोंय सारकिल्या सुशिक्षीत राज्यांत पयलीं पासून म्हणजे नो डावट हांव गोंयचेर येतलो मागीर, आमी म्हणजे आमी गोंयांत पयलीं पासून कितें आसा आमच्या कडेन आनी आमकां ताजो कितें फायदो जाला तो. बट इतर राज्यांत म्हणजे अशा पद्दतीच्यो वेगवेगळ्यो योजना ज्यो आशिल्ल्यो ह्यो तातूंतल्यान सुरवात जाल्यो, आनी म्हणून तर तांच्यांनी प्रत्येक स्कीम आनी प्रत्येक योजना हाज्या फाटल्यान तांचो मोटो आशिल्लो. पयले फावटी 2014 मानाजी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदीजी हे म्हणजे आमी म्हणटा तो सॅनिटरी पॅड हो विशय जो आहा तो तेंच्यांनी आपल्या पयल्या 15 ऑगस्टाच्या भाशणांतल्यान लाल किल्ल्या वयल्यान उलयलो की हय फ्री, म्हणजे आमी जाका म्हणटा की फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट द सॅनिटरी पॅड दिवपाची योजना. इट इज इन ₹1 द जेनरीक जर हितूर पळयशात तुमी ₹1 हातूंतल्यान पॅड डिस्ट्रिब्युशन जें आसा. बऱ्याच जाणांनी विचारलो की हो विशय की लाल फोर्टा वयल्यान उलोवपाचो काय म्हणून, बट हॉनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टरान होय विशय हो लाल फोर्टा वयल्यान उलयलो. हय, जो पर्यंत आमी म्हणजे आमी म्हणटा कालच आमी की डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर हांची जयंती केली की समानता न्याय आनी हक्क. समानता म्हणजे कितें, तर समानता म्हणजे आमी म्हणटा की महिला आनी पुरुष ह्यो समान आसपाक जाय. म्हणून तांच्यांनी म्हटलें वाय नॉट 50%, वाय ओन्ली द 33%, निदान आतां 33%चेर तरी योग्य जावपाक जाय. म्हणून त्याच खातीर आमी जो म्हणटा समानता ह्या विशयाचेर हाडपा खातीर इट इज एन इक्विलिटी. पयले फावटी डिफेन्सान वुमन्स ह्यो लीड करपाक लागल्यो. हाज्या पयलीं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदीजी येवच्या पयलीं डिफेन्सान वुमन वतात नाशिल्ली. नो डावट इन द रेस्ट ऑल फिल्ड सगळ्याक आशिल्ली, बट इन द डिफेन्स फोर्स की तांकां ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी जी आसा ही 2014च्या उपरांत पयलेच फावटी तेंच्यांनी मेळ्ळी. अशी इनोवेटीव थिंक आनी इनोवेटीव आयडिया घेवन तांच्यांनी वेगवेगळ्यो गजाली ह्यो महिलांच्या खातीर केल्यो. आनी ताज्या उपरांतूच तांच्यांनी 2023 म्हणजे नारी शक्ती वंदन अधिनियम हे बील तांच्यांनी इंट्रोड्यूस केलें. तांच्यांनी बील हे पास केलें आनी तें बील पास केल्या उपरांत आतां कितें 2029 लागू जावपाक जाय 2011च्या सेन्ससानुसार. म्हणून हें बील आतां परत एकदां म्हणजे ताजेर डिस्कशन सुरू जातलें. ते 16, 17, 18 हें बील पास जातलें. आमी जर पळयत जाल्यार गोंय सारकिल्या राज्यांत आज म्हाका खूब बरें दिसता की ह्या कंप्लीट टावन हॉलान म्हणजे हांगासर बसपी प्रत्येक महिला ही खंय ना खंय तरी लीड करता. म्हणजे खंयचें तरी ऑर्गनायझेशन लीड करता, खंयचें तरी डिपार्टमेंट लीड करता, खंयचो तरी बिझनेस लीड करता. ती स्वताहून सगळीं जाणां म्हणजे इट इज आमी जशें म्हणटा की आपल्या घरा पासून ते आपल्या बिझनेसा पर्यंत प्रत्येक जाण कितें तरी खंयचें ना खंयचें ऑर्गनायझेशन. आनी उलयल्या त्यो महिला तर दे आर फ्रॉम द फोर फ्रंट. म्हणजे प्रत्येक जाण आमी पळयता की गोवा चेंबर ऑफ कॉमर्स इट इज एन 100-year-old ऑर्गनायझेशन. फर्स्ट टायम वुमन इज लिडींग दीस ऑर्गनायझेशन इन द स्टेट ऑफ गोवा. फर्स्ट टायम इट इज 100-year-old ऑर्गनायझेशन. सी दीस म्हणजे 100 वर्सांनी काय जायना, बट गोंय सारकिल्या स्टेटीत वुमन लीड करपाक लागली. दॅट इज अ प्राऊड मुवमेंट फॉर द वुमन. आमच्या खातीर सगळ्यांच्या खातीर खरोखरच ही गौरवाची गजाल आसा की फ्रंट वचून मॅडम प्रतिमा धोंड हे ऑर्गनायझेशन म्हणजे हितून जर तुमी पळयशात जाल्यार पयलीं तर म्हाका दिसता 100% जेंट्स आशिल्ले. आतांच म्हणजे ह्या 10-15 वर्सांक वुमन्स हे जावपाक लागिल्ल्यो आसा. ह्या गोंय सारकिल्या राज्यांत हांवें ज्यो 2-3 स्पेशलिटी सांगता आसतना मुद्दामून म्हणजे हांव मेन्शन करतलो की मॅडम आयडा हांच्यांनी थोडोसो टच केल्लो ज्या विशयाक की गोंयांत तशें जर आमी पळयता आसत जाल्यार आमी सगळीं जाणां खरें आमी भाग्यवान आसा म्हणपाक जाय. कित्याक तर वी आर फॉलोवींग द UCC युनिफॉर्म सिवील कोड. वी आर फॉलोवींग कंपल्सरी मॅरेज रजिस्ट्रेशन ऍक्ट. वी आर फॉलोवींग कंपल्सरी द प्रॉपर्टी रायट ऍक्ट. चल्याक मेळटा तितकोच रायट जो आसा हो आमकांय मेळटा म्हणजे सक्सेशन इन इनहेरिटन्स ऍक्ट. ह्या ऍक्टाच्या अंतर्गत आमकां हे सगळे रायट म्हणजे गोंयांत कोणूय आपलें मॅरेज विदावट रजिस्ट्रेशन कोण मॅरेज जायना. मागीर तो खंयच्याय धर्माचो आसूनी किंवा खंयच्याय जातीचो आसूनी. ती बरेच जाण म्हणजे गोंयांत येवन थोडे जाण भायले सुद्दां हांगा गोंयांत येवन रजिस्ट्रेशन करपाक लागिल्ले. आमचो पयलीं पासून आमी UCC फॉलो करता. रिसेंटली म्हणजे इन उत्तराखंड तांच्यांनी UCC पास केलो. इन फ्युचर बाकीच्यो स्टेट सुद्दां UCC जो हा युनिफॉर्म सिवील कोड हो पास करपाक लागतले. आणि अशाच पद्दतीत गोंयांत इनिशिएटिव्स आमी वेगवेगळ्यो म्हाका दिसता कितल्या जाणांनी पळयला म्हाका खबर ना, बट गोंयांत स्टेट ही पयली स्टेट आसा वीच इज गिवींग द जेंडर बजेट. पयली फर्स्ट स्टेट वीच इज सेपरेटली पासींग द जेंडर बजेट. माझ्या बजेटांतल्यान आमी जेंडर बजेटाचेर सेपरेटली बूक काडटा न्ही, तर वी आर डुईंग द एलोकेशन ऑफ द 33% फॉर द वुमन. 33%चे एलोकेशन हातूंतल्यान वुमन्सा खातीर आसा. तुम्ही म्हणटाले आतां विचा दीस तुम्ही जाल्यार 56 डिपार्टमेंट्स आसा वी हॅव आयडेंटिफायड, आनी त्या 56 डिपार्टमेंटांनी मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द बजेट्स म्हणजे हितूंतलो 33 म्हणजे आमी पुराय बजेटांतलो 33% या 56 भितरलो 33% बजेट वो वुमन्सा खातीर आसा. आमी एक डिपार्टमेंट म्हणजे आमी विसरूंक शकना वीच इज लेड बाय वुमन, आनी अगेन ताजो 100% काम करपी वीच इज द WCD वुमन एंड चायल्ड डिपार्टमेंट. अंगणवाडी लेवलाचेर जर सगळें काम कोण करता आसत जाल्यार 100% वुमन्स काम करता आनी बरें काम करता हें सांगता आसतनाय म्हाका प्राऊड फील जाता, कारण ग्रावंड लेवलाचेर काम करपी ह्यो महिला आसा. आनी दुसरें वीच इज एन नर्सिंग डिपार्टमेंट 90% 10% खंय तरी 8 to 10% बॉयज आसतले ब्रदर म्हणून काम करता, अदरवायज द 90% नर्सीस आर द वुमन. आनी त्यो फ्रंट फुटाचेर वचून ज्यो काम करपी जर कोण आसत जाल्यार आमच्यो भयणी आसत त्यो काम करता हें सांगता आसतनाय म्हाका प्राऊड फील जाता. गोंयांत आमी रिसेंटली गोंयांत पिंक फोर्स इंट्रोड्यूस केलो वीच इज लीड बाय द अगेन पिंक फोर्स. कोण आसा तो सगळ्यो आमच्यो वुमन PCs, वुमन PSI, वुमन ESI ह्यो सगळ्यो म्हणजे जस्ट जर तुमी कॉल करीत कोणी वुमन जाल्यार 10 मिनटाच्या भितर आमची पिंक फोर्साची गाडी जी आसा ही तांच्या पर्यंत पावता फॉर द सेफ्टी सेक्युरिटी ऑफ द वुमन. हाज्या खातीर गोंयांत फर्स्ट स्टेट टू इंट्रोड्यूस द पिंक फोर्स इन द कंट्री ती खंयची आसत जाल्यार गोवा स्टेट आसा. हाज्या व्यतिरिक्त तुमी जर गोंयांतले हांवें जें म्हटलें आतां 33% म्हणजे आमी बजेट हें विशेश करून तुमी पळयता हांव मुद्दामून म्हणजे याद करता स्वर्गेस मनोहरभाई पर्रीकार हांची, कारण तांच्यांनी पुराय देशात गृह आधार जी स्कीम सुरू जाली म्हणजे इट इज नॉट ओनली द गिवींग ऑफ 1500 रुपीज. म्हणजे 1500 रुपीज एखाद्या महिलेक खबर आसा तिका जेन्ना मंथली ते 1500 रुपीज तिच्या अकाउंटाचेर वता पळय न्ही तिजो व्हॅल्यू तिकाच खबर आसा, कारण तिका आपल्या एखाद्या चलयेक टिकेटीक वचपा खातीर कॉलेजीक वचपी टिकेटीक ते जेन्ना 500 रुपया काडून दिता पळय न्ही तिजो इम्पॉर्टन्स तिका खबर आसा. तेन्ना फर्स्ट टायम आमी इंट्रोड्यूस जेन्ना केली इन 2012 गृह आधार स्कीम गोंय हें पयलें राज्य आसतलें 100% म्हणजे आमी हांगा दादल्यांक पयशे दिना गृह आधारांत, फक्त महिलांक पयशे दिता. ओके, वीच इज एन गृह आधार स्कीम. अगेन लाडली लक्ष्मी आमी चल्या भुरग्याच्या लग्नाक पयशे दिना, आमी चलयेच्याच लग्नाक पयशे दिता वीच इज एन 1 लाख रुपीज. ही बी गोंयांत सगळ्यात पयली सुरू जाली आनी इट इज नॉट ओनली फॉर द मॅरेज बट ते पयशे आमी मीनवायल आमी म्हणटाले की एड्युकेशना खातीर सुद्दां तांच्यांनी जाय जाल्यार आपल्याक बेगीन ते काडूं येता. मागीर भितर थोडीशी मॉडिफाय जाली बट लाडली लक्ष्मीचे पयशे खूब जाणांनी आपले फॉर द फर्दर एड्युकेशन खूब जाणांनी हे पयशे जे आसा हे वापरलेले आसा. अगेन वी हॅव इन अवर ट्रायबल डिपार्टमेंटान स्पेशली फॉर द विडोज पेन्शन स्कीम आमी एडिशनली तांकां म्हणजे द 2000 रुपीज फ्रॉम द DSSY अँड अगेन दोज वर इफ दे हॅविंग द 2 किड्स जाल्यार आमी ते 3000 रुपया म्हणजे एप्रॉक्सिमेटली 6000 रुपया पर्यंत पेन्शन अंडर द ट्रायबल डिपार्टमेंट वी आर गिवींग फॉर अवर विडो सिस्टर्स. हें दिवपाचें काम हे आमच्या सरकारान सातत्यात केलां. पण हे सगळें करता आसतना सुद्दां म्हणजे आमी जाका म्हणटा की वुमन एम्पावरमेंट हे करपा खातीर सातत्यात म्हणजे RDA डिपार्टमेंट म्हणजे जवळपास EDC इकॉनॉमिक डेव्हलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन्स तुमी जर पळयशात जाल्यार RDA डिपार्टमेंटाच्या वतीन आयजूय बी जवळपास 3,438 सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स आर वर्किंग. दे आर जस्ट नॉट वर्किंग हांव म्हणचो ना की तांच्यांनी आतां पर्यंत 340 कोटीचो टर्न ओवर केला फाटल्या 12 वर्सां. इट इज अ रिवॉल्विंग फंड आनी बाकीचे सगळे 340 कोटीचो टर्न ओवर आनी ऑल टुगेदर महिलाच कितल्यो 44,000 महिलाच. 44,000 महिलांनी 340 कोटीचो टर्न ओवर करप. ओके, हो मॅडम दिपाली नायक आमची साऊथ गोवा डायरेक्टर फॉर द RDA शी इज देर. शी इज म्हणजे हाफ द पोर्शन ऑफ द गोवा ती पळयता आनी शी इज लिडींग फ्रॉम द फ्रंट. ओके, तुम्ही विचार करात 340 कोटी म्हणजे, आणि हे हांव एकदां सांगता विचारता तांकां कोणाची गॅरंटी काय म्हणून 340 कोटी तुमकां दिले पळय न्ही, ही कोणाची गॅरंटी? ती सांगतात मागीर मोदीची गॅरंटी म्हणून. ऑफकोर्स तांकां हे पयशे घेता आसतना कोणूच तांकां गॅरंटर मागूंक ना, किंवा तांकां तुमी खंयचे तरी पेपर हाडून दी आनी कितें दी, हें कांय सांगूंक ना. ऑल द नॅशनलायज बँक्स हॅव गिवन दॅम मनी एज दे हॅव डिस्ट्रिब्युटेड. आतां हांव पळयतां, आनी इवन दो त्या डिपार्टमेंटांत इट इज एन 95% वुमन्स काम करतात. आमी पळयता विलेज ऑर्गनायझेशन, ताज्या उपरांत मागीर सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप, विलेज ऑर्गनायझेशन एंड अबाउट दॅट क्लस्टर लेवल फेडरेशन CLF. आणि तांच्यांनी आपलो मार्केटींग प्लॅन, तांच्यांनी आपलो स्ट्रॅटेजीक प्लॅन, सगळें म्हणजे ब्रँडींग आनी हे ते मॅक्झिमम जाणां ह्यो वेगवेगळ्यो गजाली ह्यो आपुणून करपाक लागलेल्यो आसा. इन ऑल दे आर ऑल आर इन म्हणजे विलेज लेवल्स, विलेजींनी सगळीं जाणां आसात. आमचो टार्गेट आसा इट इज 1 लाख वुमन्स ह्या आमच्या हितून RDAच्या सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुपांनी जॉईन करपाक जाय. आमचो टार्गेट आसा कमीच कमी म्हणजे जवळपास 1 लाख महिला आणि 500 पर्यंत ते 5000 पर्यंत ते सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप जावचे हो टार्गेट दवरला. सेकंड कन्सेप्ट हॉनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदीजी हांच्यांनी लखपती दिदी इंट्रोड्यूस केलो. तांच्यांनी द्रोण दिदी हो कन्सेप्ट केलो. वॉट यू मीन बाय द लखपती दिदी? की जी वुमन ह्या सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुपांतल्यान काम करपाक लागल्या ती लखपती जावची. लखपती मीन्स नॉट ओन्ली ही इज द टर्न ओवर ऑफ द 1 लाख, तिजो प्रॉफीट जो आसा पळय न्ही, हो जेन्ना 1 लाख रुपया जातलो तेन्ना तिका लखपती दिदी हे संबोधीत करता. हांव बरेचशे फावटी एग्जाम्पल दिता आसतना आमची स्नेहा नायक येवंक ना न्ही, आसा शी इज देर. तूं कितल्या कंट्रीनी वचून आयल्या तूच सांग. 3 फॉरेन कंट्रीनी वचून आयल्या. आनी स्टेटीनी कितल्या वचून आयल्या? चडशा स्टेटीनी पावल्या. कोणाच्या पयशांनी पावली तूं? ऑल थ्रू द गव्हर्मेंट ऑफ गोवा आणि गव्हर्मेंट ऑफ इंडिया. 3 फॉरेन कंट्री एंड ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द स्टेट्स. आणि तिजो पॅटर्न कितें? कुणबी. कुणबी साडी, कुणबी शॉल, कुणबी टोपी, कुणबी जॅकेट, कुणबी बॅग, एवरीथींग शी हॅज. म्हाका प्राऊड फील जाता. 5 वर्साच्या पयलीं आय हॅड इंट्रोड्यूस द कुणबी अगेन फॉर द गव्हर्मेंट गोवा. हांवें गोंयान इंट्रोड्यूस केलें. मॅडम बस गोंयान इंट्रोड्यूस केलें आनी आज म्हणजे मॅडम स्नेहा नायका सारकेली आज पुराय म्हणजे 3 कंट्री वता ओन्ली ऑन द कुणबी. वेरियस प्रॉडक्ट ऑफ कुणबी. एक कुणबी शॉल आनी ह्या हेतूंतल्यान. म्हणजेच एखाद्या महिलेन जर ठरयलें लीड करपाचें जर ठरयलें जाल्यार ती करपाक शकता हें आमकां दिसून येता. म्हणून म्हाका तर दिसता की फाटल्यान कितलींशींच जाणां यंग एंटरप्रिनर्स आसात. त्या खातीर वेरियस थिंग्स हांव एक स्टेप फुडें वता आसतना आमी आमचे इकॉनॉमीक डेव्हलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन्स which is in short it is an bank, in short it is loan. थंयसर ADI सेंटर केला सुरू. दोज हू वॉन्ट्स द ट्रेनिंग, जेंकां आपलो स्वताचो बिझनेस सुरू करपाक जाय तांकां हँड होल्डिंग ट्रेनिंग दिवपाचें काम ADI करता आनी ताज्या उपरांत लोन दिवपाचें काम EDC करता. खूब जाणांनी आमच्या हांगातले CMRY लोन घेतला. ती यंग एंटरप्रिनर्स जाल्या आनी तांच्यांनी आपलो बिझनेसूय बी खूब फुडें व्हेला. आनी म्हाका दिसता एनी वन ऑफ रुपा हे आमचे EDC लोन. हय तूच उबें राव. कितले लोन घेतले EDCंतल्यान? शी इज डॉक्टर बाय प्रोफेशन. नांव विचारलो स्वरूप जानवी प्रभुदेसाय. EDC लोन घेतला आमचो. बरोबर आहा. शी इज एडवर्टायझींग ऑल्सो फॉर द EDC म्हणटा तशें. शी इज बाय प्रोफेशन डॉक्टर. कितले वॉट इज द रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट फॉर यू? In short, it is a 4% rate of interest, right? Yeah, along with the subsidy also. म्हणजे त्याका सगळ्यात ऑल टुगेदर 4%. ताळयो मारा ताज्या खातीर. पिंक रिक्षा विसरलो. रोटरी क्लब. येस, मॅडमीन बरी याद करून दिली. तांच्यांनी म्हणजे वुमन एंटरप्रिनर्स पिंक रिक्षा इंट्रोड्यूस करपी जर कोण आसत जाल्यार रोटरी क्लब ऑफ ऑल द रोटरी क्लब्स. महिला पयले फावटी रिक्षा चलोवपाक लागले म्हणजे सेफली. आनी वयल्यान महिला तेंचे रिक्षान बेगीन बसतात. ओके सेफ बाबा ती सुशांगात व्हरतली पावयतली इवन दो स्कूल भुरग्याक पावोवपा खातीर खूब मोठ्या प्रमाणात इंट्रोड्यूस करता की रोटरी क्लब हॅव इन्वेस्टेड म्हणजे तांच्यांनी EDCंतल्यान लोन दिले बट ताजो मार्जीन मनी जो आशिल्लो वो रोटरी क्लबान भरलो म्हणजे सपोज ताका मार्जीन मनी 35,000 रुपया 60,000 रुपया जे भरचे पडटाले अशी ऑल टुगेदर आमी कितली 18 आनी 22 महिलांक रिक्षा दिवपाचें काम 60,000 रुपया तांच्यांनी भरल्या मार्जीन मनी हो तांच्यांनी भरला आनी बिटवीन पिंक रिक्षा वी आर सेईंग इंट्रोड्यूस केली पयले फावटी पिंक रिक्षा हो कन्सेप्ट आमी इंट्रोड्यूस केलो आनी तो ओन्ली फॉर द वुमन्स जी निडी वुमन आहा जिका गरज आसा ती पयली ट्रेनिंग घेता ताजे उपरांत रोटरी कडेन एप्रोच जाली ती 60,000 रुपया भरतात रोटरी भरता 60,000 रुपया उरलेले लोन आमी EDCंतल्यान करून दिता आनी EDCंतल्यान मागीर ती आपले रिफंड जे आसा पयली 22 महिलांनी अशा पद्दतीन पिंक रिक्षा घेतली आनी हाकाच लागून आमी जाका म्हणटा की गोंयांत अशा पद्दतींतल्यो वेगवेगळ्यो गजाली ह्यो आमी फुडें हाडपा खातीर सतत हे सपोर्ट करीत आसा आनी हाज्या उपरांत म्हणजे नारी शक्ती वंदन अधिनियम हे बिल जेन्ना पास जातलें ऑफकोर्स म्हणजे आमी ताज्याय पयलीं भारतीय जनता पार्टीन बद्दल म्हटलें की लोकसभेक 50% टिकेट्स दिल्यो विधानसभेन सुद्दां आमी जवळपास 10 to 15% टिकेट्स दिल्यो हे बिल जाय जाल्यार आमकां आवडटलें 33% दिवपाक कांयच हरकत ना वी आर रेडी आनी 40 उरले सुद्दां जाल्यार आमी 33% दिता कांयच हरकत ना वी आर रेडी म्हाजोय सीट गेलो आतां म्हाका हरकत ना गेलो म्हणून हरकत ना म्हणटा तशें बट जे रुटीनली हे ऑफकोर्स हे नंबर विधानसभेंतलो वाडटलोच बट ह्या निमित्तात की खूब बरें दिसता की इन ऑल सोशल आसतलें कल्चरल आसतलें इकॉनॉमिकल आसतलें आनी पॉलिटिकल लिडरशीप ह्यो महिलांनी करच्यो आनी ते करता आसतना आमकां हे बिल आमी आज भारतीय जनता पार्टीचें सरकार हे पास करता आनी त्या निमित्तात आज ताजेर डिस्कशन करपा खातीर वॉट एक्झॅक्टली बिल इज आनी हाव इट वील इम्पॅक्ट द सोसायटी म्हणजे हे तर म्हणटा आमी कित्याक इम्पॅक्ट जातलो आतां पर्यंत पळयता आमी की डिसिजन मेकिंगान खूब कमी महिला ज्यो उरताल्यो किंवा आमी नवीन कायदे करपाक जाय तातूंत महिला ह्यो आसपाक जायो इवन दो इन मिनिस्ट्रियल पोर्टफोलियोज महिला आसपाक जाय हे म्हजें फ्रँकली मत आसा आनी हे बिल जेन्ना पास जातलें तेन्ना डेफिनेटली की मेजर डिसिजन मेकिंगान कायदे खंय जातात तर लोकसभेत जाता राज्यसभेत जाता ताज्या उपरांत विधानसभेत जातात आनी हे कायदे करता आसतना महिला कॉन्ट्रिब्यूट करतली महिला ज्यो आसा ह्यो खूब मोठ्या प्रमाणात जेन्ना कॉन्ट्रिब्यूट करतली तेन्नाच म्हणजे ह्या प्लॅटफॉर्माचेर आशिल्ली ज्यो महिला आज वेगवेगळे ऑर्गनायझेशन लीड करता ज्यो महिला आज वेगवेगळ्यो कंपनीज लीड करता ज्यो महिला आज वेगवेगळे आपले सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुपा पासून वेगवेगळे इंडस्ट्रीज पर्यंत ज्यो लीड करता त्योच महिला हेन्सफोर्थ स्टेट आनी नेशन लीड करपा खातीर फुडें वचपी हे पयले फावटी म्हणून हांवें वदळूच म्हटलें की महिला प्रधानमंत्री जावन गेल्यो बट तांच्यांनी सुद्दां 33% महिलांक दिले ना पण आमचे मानाधीक प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदीजी हांच्यांनी हे 33% दिवपाचें केलां त्या खातीर ज्या ज्या प्लॅटफॉर्माचेर म्हणजे आज सगळ्या जाणांक जरी हांगासर उलोवपाक मेळना जाल्यार ज्या प्लॅटफॉर्माचेर तुमकां जेन्ना उलोवपाक मेळटलें तेन्ना ह्या बिलाच्या बद्दल मुद्दामून तुमी उलोवपाक जाय मानाधीक प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदीजी हांच्यांनी म्हणजे वुमन सेंट्रीक गव्हर्नन्स कितें केलां हे करपा खातीर आनी वुमन सेंट्रीक गव्हर्नन्स केल्या उपरांत वुमन लेड गव्हर्नन्स हे हाडपा खातीर हे बिल हाडिल्लें आसा ह्या बिलाक आमचो सगळ्यांचो तेंको आसतलो इवन दो आय हॅड रिटन फॉर ऑल द पार्टीज म्हणजे सगळ्या पार्टीक आमी आव्हान केलां की ह्या बिलाक तुमी जाता तितको बेगीन सपोर्ट करचो आनी तुमी जेन्ना सोशल प्लॅटफॉर्माचेर हो विशय जेन्ना मांडटली हो विशय लावन धरतली तेन्ना बाकीच्यांचेरूय प्रेशर येतलो की हय 33% जाता तितके बेगीन जावपाक जाय काय नाका हय जाल्यार म्हज्या बरोबर भारत माता की वंदे मोदी जी तुम आगे बढ़ो येस हांव तुमच्या सगळ्यांक परत एकदां देव बरें करूं म्हणटा तुमी सगळीं जाणां मुद्दामून हांगासर आयली आनी हे टावन हॉल मिटिंगेक खूब शोभा हाडली देव बरें करूं